Hello guys, my name is Dr. No Clout, and I am here to show you guys how to make fake ruts, aka masks. This is an advanced tutorial, so I need you to have some knowledge in making maps in general, Blender, and Photoshop or GIMP. Have some kind of experience with those, and then this will benefit you a lot coming around this corner. Now we are going to be so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to create some fake ruts. We're going to do this using Blender, and we're going to be using the track I already have made for this setup, just because it saves me a lot of time. So, oh gosh, we're going to be taking a look at my new track here. And here we are. Okay, so we're going to get rid of all this. And there we go. There is my track. And so what we're going to do to get started here is first hit Shift A, plane. Let's move that. Yes, there it is. Okay. Alright, so we get our plane, and the dimensions are going to be 40 by 20. There's going to be the rough dimensions here. So then, after we have this set up, we're going to go to shading, and this is a node tab. So on this we're going to hit new, base color, see this right here? I'm going to drag this out here, and we're going to search image, oh my god, my hand is not on the right spot. Image texture. Okay, before we do anything with that, we're going to go vector right here. Click and drag. And we're going to hit mapping. And we're going to find mapping vector. And then from vector, we're going to go up here again, click drag. We're going to go TXTRE. It was right there. You just type in UV, and then you want texture coordinate UV. Alright, so now from here, this is the so this is your node tree, and if you're going to be doing a lot of track making and making your own assets and stuff like that, you're going to be using this a lot. There's plenty of tutorials out there how to use this stuff, how to make a whole bunch of stuff in Blender. So this right here, image texture, this is just what's going to apply an image on top of this plane. So we're going to go find where you have your ruts at. Mine are just sitting right here. And then for this track, I think I did this one. Not too sure here. 3. We'll go thread 3, and you can kind of see it's a little messed up, like it's not facing the right way, but that's okay. I'll show you how to fix it. So over here on the rotation side, we're gonna hit the Z scale, and we're gonna hit 90, and boom, it's fixed. Now you can also play with the scaling. You can make it shorter. Don't recommend just making it shorter, leaving it as is, but you can also make it longer, shrink it, or you could do nothing with Z. So there we go. Alright, so now that we have this set up, we're gonna go back here to the layout, and we're not gonna worry about it for now. What I am gonna do though, because I don't like that, it's hard to see, is we're gonna change this in shading. And then we're just gonna go Make that a little bit more visible. So, from this point on, you have your plane ready, your map ready. You're going to hit Shift A, Curve, Bezier. Then from here, you're going to go from Object Mode to Edit Mode. You can also easily do this by pressing Tab on your keyboard. And then you're going to find Delete on your keyboard, or wherever you need to find Delete. I think you could also find it if you just... Yep, I don't know where it's at without keyboard, so I wish you luck. Delete on your keyboard, and you're going to delete vertices. Okay, and then you're going to hit this curve pen tool right here. Alright, and we are going to go straight top down. You want this to be perfect here. And we're going to find a starting point. You can start anywhere you want. I prefer to start at the start straight. And we're going to go straight down just like that. Alright, so you cannot see the line, and it's not really normally a problem, but I like to be able to see it. So we're going to hit A to grab all of them, the transform tool, and we're going to move it up so I can see the path of the curve. Then we're going to go back up, click away from everything. Oh, click away from everything. Click away from everything. My gosh. Click the last point you just made, and then go back to the pen tool. Then we are just going to follow my track path here. Alright, so now we're back. We have our track path somewhat, made. And I say somewhat because you have to do a lot of editing to make it look right. So, what we are going to do now is basically make whatever that is look uniform and clean. So you can grab these points, okay? You press G, you will be moving it. Alright, just like that. Press G, move it. And as long as you're like on the top view like this, straight up and down, you should not have to worry about it moving up and down. Like, because if I'm like this and I move it, I'm actually moving it down. Or sometimes it is. Yeah, see, it curved down a little bit because I was like that, but depending on like what angle you're coming from to edit these, you could be moving it way out of place. So as long as you're top down view, you should be alright. Then you can grab the endpoints here, pull them out, and make the curve look as neat as possible. Also edit it with these sides a little bit, however you want. Okay, and we're gonna do it to every turn, every straight. That generally doesn't look good. So here, just kind of shorten that up, bring it out more. This one, I could just bring that end out. Edit that a little bit. Boom. I want that to be straighter. Oh my gosh. Yeah, same goes for all of these over here. Alright, so I'm going to get this done and then I'll come back whenever it is done. Okay, so I didn't do anything because I already have one made. We're just going to be using that for today. But you get the idea of it. And then, so now the next step is to get out of edit mode. So press tab again. And then we're going to get the plane again. And the key with the plane is you're going to hit tab, okay? make sure it's selected. Right click on your mouse and subdivide. You're going to subdivide a few different times here, and this is going to allow it to curve on your track path. Oh gosh, on your track path. So now that we hit tab and we have our plane selected, we're going to go modifiers, add modifier, generate array. As you can see, it added an extra little doodad here, and that will be useful here in a bit. So now the next step is add modifier again, deform, curve, okay, and then that is down here. Now you see object curve, you're going to select what you want your object to curve to. In this case, we're going to be selecting our Bezier curve. Hopefully that's the right one. It was not, but that's okay. You can fix it by just changing it. And there you go. And there it is. So that's at the end of where I started. And usually you can connect the ends. I didn't plan the path out very well, so mine's not going to be like that. But you could easily change it by location. Boom. Just like that. And you might be thinking, wow, that is massive compared to the track. Well, you can also change the size of it. Here's scaling. That's length. And there you go. It's about just as wide as that part of the track right there. And then we're going to come back to array, and we're going to fill this entire thing out. Okay, so normally you would have the ends attached and you wouldn't be getting this weird straight line. So you guys should attach the ends. This is my mistake that I didn't do it prior. I didn't think about it. But if this does happen, you can just easily... Oh god. A little much there, for sure. And we're just going to blah, 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 blah. And again, this is just really rough draft here for me, because I'm trying to get this done for you guys, alright? And there we go. That, you know, that'll work for me. I don't really care about the lines too much, because I know I'm going to be fixing it. And we really focused on this part right here that we were working on. Okay, so don't worry about anything else right now on my end. And then, so, I mean, that's pretty lined up pretty good, to be honest. A little bit off over here. And it is okay to be off. It is okay to be, like, oversized a little bit. If anything, you want to oversize this a hair. So what we're actually going to do is make this... Hello? Okay, yeah, we're going to make this wider than the track is. Just because we want it to overhang a little bit so we have enough room to take stuff off and it look nice. Because here's the thing, you can take as much off as you want. You can take as much off as you want, but you cannot add it back. I mean, you can add it back, but it makes it much harder to add it back. So, have an oversize of things and then take it off, compared to trying to add it back later. This makes it so much easier. Alright, so this section is looking pretty good. We have some stuff like this that we're going to have to fix in Photoshop, where it's straight 90 degrees. I mean, no one's doing that on the IRL track, so that is looking pretty swanky. Okay, so now the next step, after, if you're happy with your track path and everything, is going to be a Shift A, camera. Okay, then we're going to go down this little camera tab here. Pull it out just a little bit, it doesn't really matter, we're going to fix it here in a minute. From type, you're going to go as perspective to orthographic. And this number right here is going to be your track size. So, and if I don't really know this one, I think it's 3 schmundred. It is 230. What? Whatever. So here, where do you go? Track size 230. And then we gotta fix all these dead zeros. Alright. Then here, we're gonna go location, mine is 115, because 230 divided by 2 is 115. Which, you guys should already know how to find your track location just because of Linds's video that everyone watches. And there we go, we got our camera set up perfectly around our track here, okay? Another pro tip is make sure you have your camera off on everything, otherwise it will show up in the render, and we don't want that. No, whoops, I need that though. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to go, we want this in the highest quality possible. You can do this in 2 ways. You can make this in 16K or you can make it in 8K. I make all of my tracks in 8K. If you go 16K, that's the extra mile, but do know it does enlarge your file size quite a bit to do 16K. Sorry about the yawn. So the next step to adjust that is going to be up here in output, and you can see my settings right here is going to be 8196, but it's actually not 8196, actually 8192 for 8K. I had to resize my whole mask because I made that mistake. So 8192 pixels on the X and Y axis for 8K image. And then after that, we're going to hit F12. But actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make mine a, because I have to do something else with this, 4096. So I'm going to make a 4K height map, not a height map, Jesus. I'm going to make a 4K mask for a separate reason. And so you're going to hit F12, and that's going to start the render. Okay, so now we're back. Our render is done. Here's our 4K image. So, and it's looking pretty pixelated. In 8K, it does not look this pixelated, and it looks much better. Again, I'd be using this for a different reason, so to me it doesn't really matter. What I am noticing here is that this is very dark. Not just this, the background could be dark because we're going to be changing it anyways, but these highlights, or not the highlights, but the ruts itself are very dark, which will create problems showing up in the mask. So I'm going to show you guys a way to try to fix this, and then hopefully your render will be looking much better. So we're going to close out of that. We don't want to save that version, and that's my recording. We're back, and we're back from, I finally figured out the settings to do it because I don't do it often. Sometimes it messes up my Blender. Not that what I'm doing it messes up my Blender, but sometimes when I take a render like this, my render doesn't look great, and it looks like just how it turns out. So the easy way to fix that is to go up here, make sure that scene world is clicked off and scene lights are clicked on. Now render pass, we're gonna go diffuse color like this. Okay, everything is black now, and this is now white. Okay, and we're going to hit F12. Alright, now it looks the same as before, but up here in the far right corner, we're going to go combined to diffuse color. And there you go. This is the exact image that you want to use. Black background and all this white popping through with the small bits of black. This is the exact image you want to use. And so, once you save that, we're going to go image, save as copy. Up here, you're just going to keep it as a PNG. It does not matter. Color depth 8, and I mean, just keep all these the same. Name it whatever you want. I try to keep it simple, just like rut version 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna go video ruts, and then we're gonna go actually save this. See, as you can see, I made a video prior that did not work. Save image as. Okay, there we go. Our 4K image of ruts, or AK image of ruts, is now saved. We can close out of that, and we can turn this back to normal, so you can continue editing in Blender. So now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna do two more things here on this side. We're gonna go grab this, go back to shading, and for you extra guys that want to go the extra mile, we're gonna go do this with dozer marks. See, we've changed it, and now we are going to save this same way we did last time. Layout, F12, diffuse color, and everything else at the end of that. Save this image, and now what we're also going to do is the same thing, but we're actually going to you do whatever you want. Actually, you could do the face mat, the face bucket thing, so you can have like a fresh paved track or something like that. You do a lot of stuff. You can actually make dozer mark paths in Blender and edit them in real time. This track actually did not use any dozer marks because it's set in Skyrim, so I won't be using anything like this. That's all you need for Blender for. So now we're going to open this up in Photoshop. Okay, so now that we made it into Photoshop, this is what we're gonna do. And you're gonna notice that I have my start straight as a different layer than my ruts. And this is my final product. This is also an AK, so and I'll tell you why I do two different settings for my start straight and my ruts. And so you need to have your highlight mask. There's other videos out there on how to make a chromula mask. I will do my own later, but not today. You can do this in Daylon, you can do this in also an app called Materialize, where you get your own thing. So we're going to take this, Control A, we're going to take our highlights here, we're going to Control A, Control C, and we're going to go over here to our ruts, Control V, and obviously that is like way too small, so what we're going to do is we're going to hit Shift, and then we're going to size this up. And we're hitting Shift so we can snap to the corners of the edges. Hit Enter. It's going to rescale that up to 8K, and you want this on layer 2 to actually be below your 8K mask. Same with the start straight. You're going to hit Control A, Control C, and this one you don't have to upscale because it's already in 8K. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit Normal, Screen. This one, Normal, Screen. And the reason we do that is, one, it makes it lighter, and Y is okay. Yep, okay. So it makes it a little bit lighter, and obviously you can see what you want to take out and what you don't want to take out. And this is why I said to make them oversized a bit, so you could take away like some of the stuff on the sides, and then you could do some other stuff too. So, oh my god, that was weird. Yeah, but when you get AK stuff, sometimes if your PC isn't great, like mine here, it takes a minute. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go to edit some of this stuff. So we're gonna actually edit the start straight here, and we're going to get the burn tool right here, and then we're going to want to make sure we're first I always do highlights, and then right click and make sure your hardness is at a 0. You don't want hard edges, and I'll show you the difference here. So, oh gosh, well, so it's going to create a hard edge right here where it doesn't do anything, but if you bump that softness down. Let's Control Z. It's much lighter. And then for these, you have to always click to take away. And then you're like, well, that's not really doing a great job. So we're taking away the highlights right now. But then we're going to go to shadows. And we're going to take the rest away. And then you will see how there's a fade of line. It's like fading away more than anything. And that's kind of what you want around the whole track. An uneven, ununiform style here. Oh gosh. Is just this fade away. So we're going to do this. And then I kind of do want this corner right here. I just don't want this spot right here. So we're going to do like an angle type of deal. So to take away, I always do that. You could also use the eraser tool. That's a little too big. A little too small. You also use the eraser tool to take away stuff. The problem with using the eraser tool is it works really good to take away, but if you go back to a normal standpoint, you get this weird outline. But I never usually turn it back to normal. I'm gonna have to for a certain application, but like stuff like this where you really don't want to show, you can easily just take that away. That's what I do. Stuff like, let's say, in between here, obviously there's gonna be no ruts there. So I'm just, oh gosh, well, let's switch to the correct layer. I'm gonna obviously just take this stuff away. Size it up a bit here. And you can bump the hardness up on this one. Because this isn't really the final product eraser you want to use. And then just leave a little bit so you can burn it away. But like stuff like that, we can get rid of, oh, whoopsies. Be on the right layer here. Yeah, that's what we want. We want a little overlap for the start straights. I'll show you why momentarily. But there we go, and then we're going to go back to the burn tool, go back to highlights, and we're going to burn the highlights of this mask right here. Same with this end, we're just going to burn the edges of it, just get a darker tone overall, shadows, and we're just going to take away bits of this. So, and then once we hide this, kind of see what you don't want, what you want. Another thing as well is you could also, let's say this is way too bright, right? You could also just go in here with the shadow selected and just darken up the darker parts of the thing, and you won't take away the brighter bits. So let's say a lot of people are going to be running right here to go to these berms to the next jump. You can just darken this area up because that's where the path is mostly going to be taken. And then, yeah, so there's going to be a lot more, lot less fake ruts here, and more just like darker, deeper ruts. And so you just want to kind of just make these spots darker where you know the bike is going to be mostly. Then we'll put that back on, and then obviously this piece is in the way, so we're gonna take that out actually, because I don't want that to be a part. I took too much away. I accidentally went down too much. When you're taking away stuff, it's kind of sometimes easier to let go of the mouse every now and then, so you don't actually take away too much. That's pretty good. And again, I don't really want this part to be a part of the mask. I want the start straight here. But because this track layout is so weird, it almost requires me to do that. So there we go. And then again, I know there's going to be a lot of traffic coming straight through this middle rut here, or the middle line. So I'm gonna take this blur tool, not the blur tool, the burn tool, and I'm gonna darken up the middle here. The sides can be light because I know there's not gonna be as much traffic, but I just want to darken this up. And then in the mask, like I said in the first part of this video, I want you guys to have some mask knowledge. Obviously you guys understand that the darker parts will not show up in the mask and the lighter parts will. So that's like the general basis. Then again, you can like come over here, follow suit with the start straight. This will be like, again, that's like really a rough transition, but we'll go through it and we'll make it prettier later. Okay, it's not the final product. There's a lot of editing to be done here. And then we are going to gasp. So yeah, we're gonna go back. So like, this is how you should take away stuff from your ruts. You're gonna darken up the edges here. Right. And this is why you want to oversize it. Obviously I'm oversized on the jump, so I could take away. But if it was too short, right, like down here somewhere, it would be harder to take away. And now we're in shadows, and we are just taking the sides away to make this as ununiform as possible. We're going to darken up the edges here because I know there's going to be traffic. There's a streak right there I don't like. And then if it's kind of just getting annoying, kind of just take it away like that. Use the eraser. Maybe use the eraser a little bit up here. Come back to the burn tool and darken everything out. I'm going to do the whole track and I will come back to you guys when I'm done. Okay, we are done here. My mask is done. And this can take anyone from a lot of time to do. You can, and as much time as you put into it is as much time as you're going to get into it. There's some spots I don't like that I messed up. It's too big of a rut here, but it looks fine in game. There's hard edges right there. You don't really notice in game. Do some stuff all around. But see, and then here's what I'm talking about. The reason why I make two different masks for the start and for the normal ruts is so I get this overlap. You can't do that if you make it one mask. So I get this overlap. See, that's just kind of a hard edge, but I get this overlap on the track that makes more sense. Like there'd be overlap on the sides, but not in the middle because that's where the main track is. So I get this overlap that looks nice in game. You know, I kind of messed up a little bit over here, but you know what? We'll fix it in a grass mask or something like that. See, I kind of merged these two ends a little bit better, so now they kind of correlate a little bit more. There's some stuff there. I'd normally get rid of the stuff in the middle here. Oh god. But that's that. So now what you want to do is you're going to want to come up here to File, Save as Copy, and we're going to want to save two different things here. So first we're going to want to save this in Targa. So we're going to want to save this as, let's go down here to my, save it into the file you want to save. Where's video at? Oh god. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna go over here and we're gonna save the first one, and you'll know if you're saving the correct one for this is if it says alpha channels down here. If it has a check mark alpha channels right here, this is not the one you want to save just yet. We're gonna go underscore in for normals because we're gonna have to make a normal mask out of this 32-bit. We're coming up here to layers. What I do, there's probably a simpler way to do this, but I just go down, start with the second layer, merge down, and then merge the next one down. Then hit Control A, Control C, go over here back to channels, hit the add, off channel, V. Go over your file, save as copy. Same thing with this, Targa, and then save it to whatever file you want, or go here, video. And as I said before, if it has a checkmarked alpha box, this is what is going to be for your mask. So we're going to save that, 32-bit, and now I'm done with Photoshop. Now you can make normals in Photoshop and materialize, but I do not use those because I don't know how. So we're going to exit Photoshop. Alright, so now we're going to go File, Open. We're going to find where we keep our ruts here. And here we are. So now we're in GIMP. We can make normals and find a spot that has a lot of things going on in it. I got this stuff right here. I got this. I got these. So now we're going to go Filters, Generic, Normal Map. And boom. So now here's a couple settings here. You can flip Y. Some people like how that looks. Some people don't. You can flip the X. I normally flip X. And then I'll show you what that looks like over here. And then you can bump up the size. You can go 16 to get some real deformation, whatever you want to call it. So you can see. So you see all this going on right here. I've been told Materialize does a better job at capturing stuff like this in your height map, because you can kind of see it kind of gets a little bit, so can't hate on GIMP too much. But see, stuff like this black area is just going to be flat, and it's not going to show any deformation. It will show a little bit here because I have it, these stuff right here, but for the most part, just play around with it, do what you like. Every track is going to be different, but we're going to press OK on this, and then that looks perfect. So there we're going to File, Overwrite, Ruts _TJ. Boom, perfect. And then now we're going to open up our Resolute Kraken, and we're going to find where we want our ruts. So here's mine. We're going to put in the new ones, and we'll see how they look. And then now we're going to saving project automatically. We're going to go Map View. Okay, now that we're in Map View, we can see the fruit of our labor. So as I said before, where I was shadowing up those middle parts with the burn, you could see how whenever I did it in the middle here, like I said, it showed up more the base color than the top color. Same with over here, you can see where I burned it away, but you can still see a little bit of residue because I didn't burn everything. Same with the edges here, burnt that. And then here is that seam area. It looks a little wonky, but it works pretty good. Then that area where I was talking about for a rut down here, that's actually not too bad looking. It looks pretty good, honestly. But this is how it looks in game, and it looks pretty good in my opinion. Since this isn't really set in real time, my off track is a little bit different. I got like massive horse prints, I guess. That's an accident. But I got like some deer tracks, some footprints, some bear tracks, since we're set in Skyrim. As you can kind of see my Skyrim map, this is supposed to be a kind of a replica-ish of the first town, river run in Skyrim. Here's the smith house you kind of walk into would be a little smith table right there. The trader house right here. Another little hut right here. There's the town hall. There'd be some houses back here too. I got the gate and everything. The first thing you walk into will be looking kind of like that. The slabs could use some work. There's the sawmill right there. But yeah, I mean, our ruts are looking pretty snazzy. Now that's just kind of how I do my ruts. You can do many other ways. There's 3D scans. There's some other stuff you can do. But this is just kind of how I do mine. Now, I will be doing a full tutorial on how to do grass masks, how to do other masks and stuff, highlights and other doodads and stuff. I'm going to try to do a full series on how to make a track. But I know a lot of people are struggling. Oh, there's my dragon. I know a lot of people are struggling on ruts, and they either A, ask me how to do it, and I can't explain it very well because Blender is a pain in the ass sometimes. So this will just be an easier way for me to try to explain them, because they probably learn better by watching than anything else. So thank you guys for watching. This map will be out soon, and I wish you guys the best of luck.